So guys, Mr. Peter will be granted a fresh interview to Arise TV. I'm just going to allow you to take a look at what he said he would have done differently from what Tinubu is doing today. We all understand the state of the nation, how the times are hard. There is a lot of unemployment. People find it difficult to eat, insecurity ravaging Nigeria, cost of living spiking every day, and so much more that Peter Obi has touched on. He has come out to tell Nigerians what he would have done differently if he had been in that, if he was to be in the position Tinubu is today. Take your time, watch this video, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now take a look.
Will be to clear a lot of things people have against you. They say you do not have credible economic growth alternatives. For instance, they say you have just criticized President Tinubu's government, but you have not given alternative of what you will have done or subsidy removal, as regards subsidy removal, as regards floating the naira, and as regards other things that President Tinubu did to stabilize the economy, which were bold measures. What will you have done?
Rufai, I was surprised when you said this is about criticisms. They should have even said some things that I said. I did that was positive, or I said I was positive. But let me tell you, I've consistently maintained that I would have removed the fuel subsidy. If you go to my manifesto, it's there. Steps I would have taken to do it in an organized manner. There was nothing wrong in removal of subsidy. What is wrong is the haphazard way in which it was announced and implemented. Everybody knows that the subsidy regime was a solution of criminality, that there was a lot of corruption surrounded with it, which you needed to bundle that aspect out of it, do it in an organized manner. And since you're doing it for savings, we're told we're doing it because we don't want to continue to borrow to continue the subsidy. And the removal of it will be able to have available funds to be invested in critical area of development. With honest things, billions saved. Where is it? Where is he invested in those critical areas of development?
They said they've given the money to the governors. That's what.
No.
They said they've increased their FAC allocation.
Fine.
They said most of the states have been able to pay their bill.
Everybody knows what critical areas of development is. And I say it morning, afternoon, night. It is education, health, and pulling people out of poverty. Rufai, is any of these three, has it improved? No.
The Minister of Health said they're getting new primary health care centers. As regards education, they said they have done NEL Fund, where they give student loan to people. As regards infrastructure, they talk about Postal Road and all that.
Let me just finish, Rufai. What I'm saying is, if you look at this, so you have removed this. People are paying more for fuel. It has escalated cost of everything, and we are not seeing where. The same thing with what you talk about, issue of naira. There's nothing wrong with floating your currency. There's nothing wrong in even devaluing your currency. But Rufai, you do this when you have productivity. What devaluation or floating does is that your currency becomes, in terms of value, low. You attract investment. Your products becomes more marketable. But where we are unproductive, you have nothing to sell. So it's a double whammy. So in all this, I would have done the same thing in an organized manner. And when people say alternative economic policies, they're there.
So what is this organized manner?
That's what I'm saying to you.
So can you give us precept by precept of this organized manner in which you have pulled out subsidy?
Subsidy removes the criminality that's associated with it, which is over 50% of it. Be able to sit down with the operators there and come up with a pricing that will not be agreed. And then, whatever we're able to save from it, have a specific place we're investing it. So we say, whatever I save from here, whatever we are giving it to the states, anything, it is specific for this. We have to have a national planning where all the resources will be put in. It is not just something you say, oh, we are sharing it the way we used to share every other morning. No, because that's not what you said. You said, we will be able to put it in critical areas of development. That was your promise. So we've removed it. People want to see where these funds are invested. It's a very clear thing. We're not the only country who've done that before. Countries after countries go with national plans.
So would you have floated the Naira if you got in? And how? You said there's nothing wrong with it. Would you have floated the Naira? Tell me the precept upon precept at which you will have floated the Naira.
I would have been doing it in an organized manner.
What's the organized manner?
I would have focused on making sure that we ramp up production in agriculture, in manufacturing, and everything, and do it gradually.
So, but you will have kept on defending it until we wrap up production.
No, it's not. You're not defending it.
Yeah.
Because even in the so-called currency, there were criminality as well. I came from a background of business, banking, everything. So I know everything that is associated with the criminalities and all these things, which you can actually be tightening while trying to do a gradual evaluation.
How would you have increased production in a country that President Tinubu claimed that there was no money when he came?
Well,
and things were really bad and he had to take those decisive measures. How would you have increased production in a country where you have crisis on the farms, economic crisis, no power, no productivity and the likes? How would you have increased?
You just said it. That means you should face those things. You just said it. Why do we talk about a sample? Do you know these projects that will lead to nowhere when we have crisis? Are you saying that coastal road is more important than securing Nigeria?
But they say it will open up to the country.
No, don't. Try to not go there. The roads we have all over the country are no motorable. You fix those ones first and use your resources to secure your country. Say, Rufai, then security is far more fundamental than road. Rufai, will you prefer a road to your village when you cannot drive to your village? No. So if you prefer, so let us budget what we're doing. So if you say our problem is insecurity, they can't go to farm, our problem is power, let's deal with those things. Let's use our resources to...
So how would you have dealt with insecurity, for instance, that's lasted over 10 years?
We're a country. Non-state actors cannot take over the country. There's something wrong. I can tell you. I have done in my own small way facing insecurity as the governor of a state. And we decided that we have to take drastic action.
But a lot of people criticize you that it was only the time you had to cause a SARS that also violated the fundamental rights of people.
Go and ask them. It's very simple to accuse people and say things that are wrong about people. You can go and see what happened while we were there. It was nothing. All those things they are talking never existed. And you saw the former IG Abubakar, a month after I left, say for 5 years, they didn't have one incident of bank robbery or this. That was there when I came. We are government. We must secure our people. And it requires decisive action. It requires, if we're at war, we declare war. And we know we're at war. But
would you have declared a state of war on banditry if you had come in?
Whatever it takes to secure the country, I'll do it.
Let's talk about your records, and these are the criticisms.
Yes.
They say that when the Panama paper came out, they said you didn't declare some of the money you had offshore. They said when you were governor, you keep saying, oh, democracy and rule of law, but you didn't do local government elections. They also said...
Can I take them one after the other?
Take them one after the other.
Let me take issue of Panama paper.
Pandora paper, sorry.
Not better.
Yeah, Pandora papers.
Let me tell you, Rufai, I have a clear, legitimate trust, which is allowed in law internationally to be able to plan for inheritance purposes. And it is documented and everything. It was there that company, which you can trace, moved from one company to another, started Asaba in the 90s. And it's in trace, it's not something you can know. In the 90s, Rufai started about 96, 97, I'm not clear, but I can tell you, until I became governor 2006. So it was a clear case of over a decade before I became governor. By that process, I started saving in a bank, Lloyd's Bank, and that came out of resources which were earned by a company I was running abroad, Nest International Limited, which is a subsidiary of Nest International Nigeria, my company in Nigeria, which was duly declared. When that came out, it became news. They said, oh, that a place they found money where I owned about $500 million. I was actually investigated.
By the FCC?
By everybody said, oh, they found a place where there's 500. Before I replied, I said, if you go there and see 3%, I didn't say 10%, 3% of what you claim, or you mentioned, life imprisonment. Rufai, do you think I can tell you, go and look at what I declared when I became governor? I was already a bank chairman, everything. Naira, at the time I became governor, was about 100 Naira to $1. To date, the money in the said savings is about, I don't even know whether it's the one that belongs to me, is up to $15 million. Before, do you think it was $15 million that I've stolen since then and kept? Is that the amount of money people are stealing in Nigeria today?
But they talk about the investment in the brewery.
No, let me finish. We're talking about Pandora paper. Let's do it one after the other. So what they did is that people blew something that is out of proportion. Rufai, that I saved, say, 100 million Naira is what? But when they saw it, even one organization said they saw about $1 billion. I said, $1 billion. If I have $1 billion, me and you won't be talking. But if you go there,
how much is that?
1%. No. I told him, I said, go there. If you get 1% of, if you see.
So how much is there for transparency purposes?
There's no transparency purposes. I put in every year. If it's 1 Naira, I put there. I just told you that when they said it's 500, and I told them go and get 30% there. 3%.
But you know what I'm asking? Because if you want to, you have to declare your trust.
It's everything is declared. It's plain. Everything.
Okay, for the want of time, let's go to.
The other one, he said brewery. Let me tell you, Rufai, I'm happy you're asking that question because people have talked about breweries and everything. Rufai, if I tell you what I suffered for that brewery to be built in Anambra State, you will not believe it.
Not to do so.
I had to go out trying to attract business to Anambra State. The biggest revenue earner in Enugu State is Ama Brewery. Ama Brewery in Enugu. The biggest earner, call it revenue source for Anambra today, is that brewery.
So guys, this message is coming at the very right time. This is a time when Nigerians are experiencing a spike in the level of insecurity, a spike in the level of unemployment, a spike in destitution, a spike in Nigerians not knowing where the next meal is going to come from. That is what the people are going through today. And the Tinubu's government, pretend to not know what Nigerians are going through. Okay, there was this video of Tinubu trending on Twitter where Tinubu was watching television on how the governor of Akwa Ibom State defected. I mean, Tinubu was sitting down on his couch and watching it live, the defection of the Akwa Ibom State governor. And somebody tweeted and said, so it means that Tinubu sees all the insecurity happening in Nigeria. If he has time to watch the defection of the governor of Akwa Ibom, then he really has time to watch all what has been going on the television. And you can imagine that they are not even showing any interest in addressing any of those. So guys, this is what we are saying about leadership in this country. It's all about these politicians. It's not about the people. They don't care about you and I. It is just about them. Look at the refineries across Nigeria. Each time they borrow money, they will tell us that the refinery will commence work. At the end, they will tell us that the refinery has stopped work again. Look at the opportunities we have to have seaports across Nigeria. In places like Akwa Ibom State, Calabar, which is in River State, and other places, riverine areas, even the one in Port Harcourt. These are employment opportunities that this government has refused to maximize because it's all about them. Tinubu wants to do anything that is going to benefit him, not the people. People have been wondering how come majority of the containers that come into Lagos head to the southeast, but you are not interested in giving the southeast a seaport. You can also see why they are intentionally trying to, make the Igbos to suffer the more. Also, Tinubu is being accused by Afenifere to have commenced the Calabar-Lagos Coastal Highway because it's going to benefit him. They said the Go Atlantic or the Atlantic City that is owned by Tinubu is along that axis. And there is this fear that when Tinubu finishes, constructing the road that leads to Atlantic City, he might even abandon the project with all the money already put into it. So guys, there is this fear that these politicians are not for the people. They are just there for themselves. And you can see this is one of the reasons why Mr. Peter Obi is here to speak on what he would have done differently. We know that Obi has always canvassed for production. He said if Nigeria is producing, we won't be having all these challenges. We have alternative ways to generate the revenue. We have alternative ways even for employment of our youth. The Naira will be stabilized. I mean, so many things will get better. But those are the things these people don't want you to know. Those are the things people like Akpabio, the Tinubu's government, and those at the National Assembly, they don't care about. But you can see these are the things that are going to push Nigeria forward. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that you too can recommend it to others. And drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.